Sex is the life force energy that runs through us all. Can you use sexual energy for your spiritual evolution? Or perhaps for emotional healing? Is it even possible? Clinical sexologist Dr. Martha Tara Lee will explore all these and more on Eros Evolution on OMTimes Radio.
Hello and welcome to Eros Evolution. This is where sexuality and spirituality meets. My name is Martha. I'm a clinical sexologist based in Singapore, and you can find me at eroscoaching.com. That's EROS coaching.com. And I am available on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. So yes, be sure to look for me. I'm also on YouTube, of course, and I just released 2 new videos yesterday. The first one talking about the influences of new moon in Cancer, and the second one talking about Donald Trump and golden showers. So I was speaking with Frank Mondoze, who was on the show last week. So be sure to check out that episode, Seeding the Sexual Renaissance. And on today's show, I'll be talking about how your iPhone can actually help boost intimacy in your relationship. That is if you have an iPhone. And that is if you're interested in boosting intimacy in your relationship. Have you ever wondered, though, about the impact that technology has on your relationship? Do you find that you are looking at your screen instead of at your partner? Many couples report that technology interrupts couple time and intimacy, and that they rarely feel they actually get time alone. Today I'll be talking with Kate Moyle, who is one of the founding partners of this new app called Pillow Play, and is trying to tackle this problem by using technology to help couples get creative and playful with intimacy, bringing them together rather than driving them apart. And it's a really great idea. Use what is working with them and use it to help them instead of against. Who is Kate? She's a psychosexual and relationship therapist, and of course founding partner of Pillow Play app. She helps those she works with by giving them the safe and contained space to explore their issues around sexuality and understand the role that it plays in their life. She believes that a homeodynamic model that understands sexuality in terms of mind, brain, body, and emotions coming together and impacting each other continuously to work creatively with her clients to find the changes that they're looking to achieve. So alongside her busy private practice, she's also part of this team that launched this app that we're going to be talking about today. And let's delve into the show. Okay, so be sure to check out her website right now, and I mean now. Go to katemoyle.co.uk. That's MOYLE.co.uk. And her app can be found at pillow.io. So welcome to the show, Kate.
Yeah, hi Martha. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. We've been trying to connect since last year. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I was saying I was thrilled to be on the show. I love the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So you're based in London, and I'm wondering, like, how long have you been doing this work, and what drove you to decide to come up with this app?
Yeah, so I've been doing the work actually like nearly 4 years now, but it's been obviously a lot more years of training. So initially, I did a psychology degree and I wrote a dissertation about sexual partners, and that kind of brought me into this world, which I love and I think is so interesting and fascinating and strangely hidden. And then the app really became a development of the work. And when I met my co-founder of Pillow Play, so really it was kind of his idea, and we shaped it to make it into an intimacy app because we felt like there were so many apps and products to create couples and so many dating apps, and that it was all about creating couples, but there was nothing about helping couples to stay together. And we felt like that was a real gap, and that anything that, helps people with relationships, and relationships take work, and we can all appreciate that would be a good thing. So really it was kind of born out of there, and obviously paired with the problems that we seem to be seeing with technology interrupting, people's communication and face-to-face interactions. So it was really the two things kind of coming together.
Yeah, I really liked what you're saying about the difference between creating couples versus staying together. And staying together is a challenge, especially in long-term relationships. This is when the shadow of the person comes forth, and all the kind of healing and dysfunction, or whatever you call it, like trauma or stories from our childhood starts coming up. And it is a challenge because we have so many distractions and social media, Facebook, and all these things, like all clamoring for attention. So how exactly does your app help develop intimacy?
Yeah, so what we have kind of taken, I suppose the best way to describe it is it's a series of episodes. And when I say an episode, I mean that they are follow-along audio episodes in the kind of style of a meditation or an audiobook or a mindfulness exercise, but they're specifically targeted at couples, and every episode is based around a different type of intimacy. And so whether that's communication, it's eye contact, it's touch, it's being playful, it's hugging, it's kissing, all the different types of intimacy. And we've created it into a 30-day program where every week has a slightly different kind of theme of intimacy, and it's about encouraging people to break the habit and do something intimate every day. And it only takes 5 minutes. There's no kind of long-term commitment to it or anything. It's designed for busy couples, but just almost as a little reminder. So you can pick up your phone if you have an iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, we're able to email the program across to you, and you press play, put your phone to one side on Do Not Disturb, and then focus all of your attention on your partner. So the two of you don't even have to think about what you're doing, because you're listening to the episodes and following along. So it's kind of like Simon Says for intimacy, I suppose. But the beauty of it is because you don't have to think, because you don't even have to plan what you're doing, and you're just following along, it's very in the moment and very present and very connected.
Okay. And I understand that you have different experts for each week. How did you go about choosing these people?
Yeah, so we've got, and we've actually kind of got more people in the pipeline, which is exciting as well. So they're people who are, experts in relationships, intimacy, sexuality. So whether they are sexual coaches or therapists or writers, or really we're trying to get the expertise of different people. So because everybody's different definition of intimacy is different, is quite unique. And so we wanted to reflect that with having different experts involved. And really it's just been, we were reaching out to people who were kind of experts in the field, and it was the people that, were interested in collaborating with us. So it's been a quite organic process, I suppose, that part of it.
I see. Okay.
We'd love you to write one.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. And I understand that for people who want to try out this app, there are ways in which they can do that.
Yeah, so we have recently changed it to a 30-day program, but there are there is a series of I suppose, more introductory episodes, and we do obviously offer a kind of, if people really don't like it, we offer them a refund for that. So we changed it in December to this 30-day program, and that was because we wanted to kind of really focus it. I suppose we were focusing the product for the more relationship-focused market, I suppose.
I see. Okay. So 5 minutes for 30 days, it's going to change their life. What are some of the practices that, for instance, that you teach them to do?
Yeah, well, I think the message behind the kind of product is clear, is that how often do you sit kind of with your partner with no distractions, so no television or no, phones, just in silence, and actually look into your partner's eyes? How often do we really do that? Because we're so rushed, we're so busy all the time, we're going from A to B, having to get to work, to answer emails, that it's about, I suppose, reminding couples about those habits that are so important and really create connection, and reminding them how easy they can be when you have a reason to do them, I suppose, and fitting them into your daily routine. And I think that's the most important kind of message that we can communicate.
Yeah, I suppose it's also a matter of just making the decision to make the time, and then over time it becomes a habit. I think this eye-gazing thing is important, looking into each other's eyes, because I know of couples who actually never done that, and that has to do with our upbringing and our culture, and so it's great that there's this coming up, this app. Okay, so we have a break, and we'll come back and talk more after this break.
Your conscious lifestyle on steroids. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Hi, I'm Kelly Fox, host and astrologer of The Astrology Show. Each week, I'll give you access to the current transits, which are a valuable tool that provide astrological information to help unlock the potential each of us has. Understanding the stars can help steer us in the right direction to make better informed choices. So if you're wondering what's going to happen in your week ahead, be sure to tune in to The Astrology Show for guidance, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. The majority of victims know their attacker. It could be your friend, your neighbor, or someone you met at a party. If you said no, it's rape, and it's a crime. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Call the National Sexual Assault Hotline today at 1-800-656-HOPE or visit RAIN.org. That's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by RAIN and this station.
And you are listening to Arrow's Evolution on the OMTimes Radio Network. You can share this show with your friends by going to the link, omtimes.com/mobile. With this link, you and your friends will be able to listen to the show without needing to download any app. This is Dr. Martha Tara Lee. I'm a clinical sexologist in Singapore. And you can find me at arrowscoaching.com. I'm going to be in Sydney for a month from next Sunday. And I'll be getting different guests to come onto the show. I won't be hosting any shows when I'm in Sydney because the last time I was there, the connection was really bad, and I didn't really want to have the stress to deal with it. So going to have different kinds of people coming on and speaking on the show. It's going to be a work trip. So For those of you who miss me, do drop me an email at drmarthalee@arrowscoaching.com. Today we're talking about how your iPhone can actually help you boost intimacy in your relationship. Really long title, really great title. How your iPhone can actually help you boost intimacy in your relationship. And the irony of it, of course, is technology does drive people apart as couples start looking more and more at their screen, and yet Kate Moyle is helping couples to deepen their intimacy by using technology through this new app. She is a psychosexual and relationship therapist and founding partner of Pillow Play app, and you can find it on pillow.io. She works by giving them a safe and contained space to explore their issues around sexuality and understand the role that it plays in their life. And you can find her at katemoyle.co.uk. That's MOYLE. So welcome back to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Hi. So you have this app, and just to remind listeners, we were talking about the app. It's 30 days. It's over 4 weeks, and every day you need to spend 5 minutes doing the practices, and they come in the form of different kinds of audios. And this is not just an app all about Kate, really. She has invited different experts to get involved, so you get the best quality support that you can have. So what happens after 30 days, Kate?
So what we hope is that after 30 days, people realize that actually being intimate on a daily basis feels amazing. You know, we haven't kind of hidden intimacy kind of behind a game or anything like that. It's just the point of the app and the goal of the app is to feel closer and that it feels great. And I think it's really, you know, when you look at couples who are really intimate, you can see that they're happier, they're more relaxed, they feel closer. But it's also things like being able to be more vulnerable, which for lots of people is very difficult. And so what we hope is that after the 30 days, that feeling of connection encourages people to want to do things that feel good more often and want to kind of, you know, whether it's looking to see if we release more episodes or reading things or just sitting together and turning their phones off. So kind of having that committed together, uninterrupted time just for the two of you. I think the value of it really is about really alone time and, you know, uninterrupted, close, intimate couple time that just feels great. You know, we know that humans are sociable creatures and that we often thrive off the feeling of connection and closeness with others, and that's what we really like, and that's what makes us feel amazing. And it's about, I think, and I think it's about healthy relationships. Yeah, I think it's about healthy relationship habits, you know, getting into good habits. And that is also really important because I think it's so easy to slip into bad habits. It's so easy to run out the door in the morning without really saying goodbye to our partners properly, or kind of rushing home and just kind of saying hi and not really ever sitting together or eating together or actually sitting down and talking and saying, how was your day? You know, all of these really simple things, or saying thank you. And that often when we're in longer term relationships, because that person is there all the time, we forget the little things that we're very good at the start of relationships. And I think those are the things that can kind of erode connection without us really noticing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, it's the little things that does make a difference. And we sometimes take our partners for granted. They're always there. They're always in our face. And slowly it starts to erode love and intimacy. And by creating new habits, these little things strengthen it, and also the app and the exercises will be helping the couples to deepen their self-awareness and realization and choice, giving them the choice to be able to choose what they want to cultivate, and giving ideas, and helping couples who are not very creative begin to get more creative. I feel it's about infusing more energy into the relationship when it comes to being together, especially for long-term couples. The little things do add up to stress and tension, and it's great to bring more awareness back into the relationship. Yeah, it's the little things that matter. And we forget about being kind sometimes.
Yeah, and I think sometimes really important to remember that, you know, how often do we hear people say, like, I wish my relationship was like it was at the start, before life got in the way, before everything got in the way and all the stress. And actually, the beauty of the Pillow Play episodes is that you can really feel like that, for whether it's a 5-minute episode or a 20-minute episode. You know, it kind of captures that deep connection that you don't ever feel you need to try for at the start of a relationship, because this new person is so exciting and fascinating that you want to completely take them all in and give them all of your attention. You don't care if the phone's ringing off the hook, because you just really want to be with this person. And I think also what you said about creativity is a huge, huge factor in creating this product for us, that, you know, every episode is different and we've worked really hard to make it that way. And so it does offer people ideas without them feeling, you know, whether it's nervous or worried about introducing something new, that the app and the product is quite permission giving, as in it's like, oh, look, we could try this Pillow Play episode, and it is about, you know, playing with the senses and, you know, trying different foods or using a blindfold. Why don't we try that? And it's quite a gentle introduction to doing new things together.
Nice. So give us a little practical tool or tip that you have for listeners, because you are a psychosexual and relationship therapist. You have considerable experience working with couples. So what would be some advice that you have for listeners out there?
I think for me, the advice that I would give people, if it's possible, is to have a phone-free, technology-free space. You know, whether it's your bedroom, or you say, okay, on one night a week, when we're home, the two of us, or when we can get our schedules together, we're going to turn off our phones at 8 o'clock and just spend the night, just the two of us. We're just going to sit and talk, or we're going to cuddle, or we're going to play, or we're going to have a bath. But whatever it is, really value that time. And I think that's something that, as a psychosexual therapist and a relationship therapist, I'm recommending my clients to do quite a lot. So whether it's sitting down and talking for 5 minutes every night, or it's engaging in sensual touch, you know, not necessarily sexual, but that sensuality leads to sexuality, or it's creating a jam jar or a bowl full of different date ideas, and they pick one out every night, or they, I don't know, go for a swim together. Whatever it is, it's about valuing, I think, how special that time can be together, and noticing things and not taking them for granted. You used the word appreciation earlier. Someone said to me the other day, the most important words you can say in a relationship are thank you. And I thought that was really, really great. And I think that we sometimes forget to appreciate what's right in front of us, because it's right in front of us every day. And so because it's not new, we forget to register quite a lot of time.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
And it's
so
not
I'm very
deliberate.
curious, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, carry on.
Oh, yes, I was going to ask about you using technology, to create this. What was the developmental process? What were some of the challenges?
The challenges were that we made the app about intimacy, and even though it is not a sexually explicit app, we had to be very careful with things like getting in the app store and things like that. So, because technically it kind of comes under the title of sex tech. And, the challenges about creating anything new is, I suppose, that you want to do the best by the people you're creating the product for. And until people start using it, you never know. So you are constantly developing based on people's feedback, on what people are telling you and if they're enjoying it. But I think we all feel really pleased with what we've created and really happy with it. And the people that try it love it. But the initial hurdle, I think, like trying anything new, especially when it comes to sex and sexuality and relationships and intimacy, is getting people over that initial hurdle, which is actually trying it. I think that's probably our biggest challenge, because trying new things in your intimate relationships and sexual relationships can be scary.
Yeah. What's some of the feedback that you have received?
The feedback is that people really, really enjoy the episodes. They find them really playful. That in a nutshell, it just works. That people do feel really close to their partners when they've done the episodes, and they really enjoy them. And I think the playfulness is a really important part of it for us. That this isn't, all very serious and not just a couple in relationships where there are problems.
So we have a break. We'll talk more with Kate after the break.
Free your mind with OMTimes Radio, IOM FM. OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Hi, this is Julie Geigel.
And I'm Susan Schuler.
And I'm Carrie Ann Larson.
And we are
the Psychic Angel Channelers
from Angel Talk Tuesday.
Tune in every week at 10 a.m. Eastern on OMTimesRadio.com.
The angels have heard your call and are here to help.
Are you ready to receive?
Bathe in a beautiful vibrational frequency to help you heal, expand, and remember your magnificence with Angel Talk Tuesday.
What's up? This is Brad and Mike from Lincoln Park for Life Beat, the music industry fights AIDS. Listen up, times are tough and you get a lot of things thrown your way. If you're being pressured to have sex and you're not ready, then say no. If you're having sex, be smart and use protection. Respect yourself and protect yourself.
For more information, call the National AIDS Hotline at 1-800-342-AIDS or log on to www.lifebeat.org.
And welcome back to Arrow's Evolution. We're talking about how your iPhone can actually help you boost intimacy in your relationship today. And we're with Kate Moyle. She's a psychosexual and relationship therapist and founding partner of Pillow Play app. You can find her at katemoyle.co.uk, and Pillow Play is at pillow.io. Just before the break, we were interrupted. So, Kate, do you want to finish off on the thought that you were having just now?
Yeah, so I think we were just talking about how pillow play isn't just for couples that are having problems. It's not for people that desperately want to change anything in their relationship, but that all couples could be reminded about how good intimacy can be and how it's a really, really important part of a couple relationship, and that even those in the best relationships can always commit to kind of connecting with their partner.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important because it's really a practice, and I think that's what makes the difference between a couple who's just going through the humdrum of life and a couple who's really great. They actually do put in the time and the effort to strengthen their relationship, and intimacy, closeness is a big part of it.
Yeah, and I think it, as you said, just being sometimes aware of the fact that we need to sometimes notice. And so many relationships lose out because of that reason, because people don't feel like their partner pays them any attention, or they don't feel noticed, or they don't feel loved. And it's so sad because it's not that people don't love their partners, and it's not that people don't appreciate their partners or do all of those things. It's just that sometimes we forget to show it.
Definitely, I agree. Okay, so let's move away from talking about the app, and let's talk about you and your work, right? You're a psychosexual and relationship therapist. What is your philosophy when it comes to sexuality and spirituality? This show always explores the link between the two, and being an expert, what is your personal philosophy or take when it comes to the link between the two?
Yeah, so for me, I think it's about, so much of what I do and everything I really think about sex is how that individual person considers sex or sexuality, and what the role it plays in their life. So really, what is the meaning of that little 3-letter word to every person? Because especially when people are having problems, the meaning of sex completely changes for them. It can completely transform and become something really, really scary. So I think the way that I work is that I'm always working to understand what sex and sexuality means to the person I'm working with, and we then kind of take the work from there. And I never assume that I think I know what it means to that person. I always want to know, particularly for them, the place it kind of takes in their life. And I think there's a lot of danger in assuming that people's definition of sex and sexuality and relationships is the same. We're all very unique. We have different preferences, likes to everything else in life. So why not sex, sexuality, and our relationships?
What do you personally see is the link between the two?
Well, it's based on so much, people's backgrounds, the way they were taught, their education. I think, spirituality as well is the way that people engage kind of with their sex and sexuality and relationships, and that I think because I work as a psychosexual therapist, obviously I'm seeing people when they're often in a really bad place with sex or sexual problems or questions around their sexuality or the loss of a relationship. And so often it's about working to kind of get them back to a place where they feel able to connect with it positively again. And I think a lot of the time it's about when people feel kind of in control of their sexuality, or like it's a choice. I think choice is such a huge huge part of it. And that is quite, almost existential in a way, that if we don't have the choice over something or the control over something, that really, really can change how we feel about it.
I agree. So in your personal opinion, like what is when does sex evoke spirit? I know a lot of people feel that the pathway is Tantra. What do you feel about that?
I feel like it's about vulnerability, actually. That, that sex is a very, very vulnerable place for lots of people, especially when it's, intimate sex or in a close relationship or an emotional relationship. And I think that there's something very spiritual about getting lost in that moment with someone, and that kind of it means that for that period of time that it's like that's the only thing in the world that's kind of really happening. And I think that's when you speak to people about the best sex they've ever had or when they really enjoy sex, quite often people use the phrase like, I'm just in the moment. And I think that there's something very spiritual about that, because it kind of takes over everything. There's no space for anything else. There's no, no kind of time to think or have anxieties or concerns or worries or thoughts about anything else, because it's very all-consuming. And I think that's kind of the joy of sex, really, which I suppose as psychosexual therapists and, as sexologists, that's what we're helping people to discover.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Is there anything that you do in your sexual or spiritual life that you feel has changed your life and which you think, you'd like to share with listeners?
Oh, what a question that is. I think it's about appreciation for me. And I think it's always interesting as someone who works in the field of kind of sexuality, people always say to me, oh, that must have such a big impact on your personal life and things like that. And actually, I feel like I have such a privileged position because I have such a great understanding of it. And also that in a way you look into, people allow you into an area of their life which is very hidden and perhaps difficult for them to discuss with anyone or very secret. And I think that makes me feel like sex is a very, I'm always intrigued about how it's so taboo, but it holds so much power. And I suppose for me, in my personal life, I just always want to discover more. I suppose I'm constantly curious is how I describe it. And I find that forever exciting and interesting, and that really, really feeds me and my interest is the only way I know. I mean, if you could see my book wish list on Amazon, it's got about 5,000 things on there. And it's about, I don't know, every day surprises me in my work and interests me and amazes me. And I feel like that is in itself huge.
Beautiful. And when you say appreciation has really changed your life, you mean like in relationship with your partner and also in your spiritual practice as well? Do you mean that?
Yeah, and I think for me, the spiritual side of it is how if you can, and again, I suppose I work with lots of people that are having lots of anxiety around sex, and so I can really appreciate that time and space where there is no thoughts, and actually just appreciating, that how amazing things like pleasure are, and how it, that as humans we have sex for pleasure. It's not just about procreation. It's just not about reproduction. It is really this kind of gift. And when I think about that, I mean, we can talk about that kind of spirituality, that understanding of it. I think that that's just kind of mind-blowing, actually, on some levels. And how something as basic as touch can be so connecting and so beyond so many other things. Right back to kind of baby and mother behaviors all the way through, that we see the role that something like that has in life and how important that is. I think I never fail to appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the reminder to have appreciation in our lives, because it's so easy to be looking for the next new bright shiny thing. What else? What's next? And actually, if we just really have gratitude for what we do have, it makes room for it to really be there in our life. It starts to have a place, and it begins to expand into something really good within ourselves, and also makes us much more attractive to not just our partner, but people around us. We become an inspiration and an influence of positivity. So I feel appreciation is easy to say, but it's really a way of life. So I really like how you keep emphasizing that.
And it's that classic phrase, you don't appreciate what you've got till it's gone.
Okay, we have a break. You're slightly cutting off. So let's continue after this break. Thank you.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
To get in the way before it happens.
To get a friend home safe.
And to not blame the victim.
It's on us.
To look out for each other.
To not look the other way.
It's on us to stand up.
To step in.
To take responsibility.
It's on us, all of us,
to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
And we are into the last 15 minutes of today's show. And today's show has been how your phone can actually help you boost intimacy in your relationship. And we've been talking about not just Kate Moyle's app, Pillow Play, which you can find at pillow.io, but also about her work in the last 15 minutes, about how her opinion around sexuality and spirituality, as well as her personal favorite practice when it comes to her sexuality and her spirituality. She's a psychosexual and relationship therapist, and you can find her and more about her work, find out more about her work at katemoyle.co.uk. That's MOYLE. So just before break, you were cut off a little bit. Is there anything that you want to add on just because we were cut off, Kate?
Yeah, I think it was just finishing off, following up from your point about appreciation and how that kind of daily reminder of what's in front of us. But I was just thinking about how so often we hear people say, oh, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. But if you're able to appreciate it, you know, that little way every day, then when it is, or that person is gone, or that relationship is over, then you don't necessarily feel like you have, you know, missed out, or that you didn't appreciate what was in front of you because you made the effort to tell that person every day or show them.
Beautiful. So talking about apps, I would like to find out from you, like, what do you think about some of these apps that allows for relationships to be created, and specifically like those that facilitate more of like a hookup kind of culture? How do you feel about these apps and how this has caused changes in relationships?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing that how quickly they've kind of taken over everything. And I do, obviously, you know, there are lots of couples that met on things like Tinder or Bumble or whatever the app is. You know, so there are couples that have been made through those apps. But I think that it's because it's alongside this kind of rise in technology, which we've seen so quickly, it's kind of taken over without anyone ever really thinking about the potential consequences of it, which is that it has made relationships quite disposable, I suppose. Or, you know, we always hear people say, don't judge a book by its cover, but that's exactly what you're doing. So you never actually meet the person or get to know them enough to actually find out if there is a connection. And I think, although that it's, you know, lots of people are having lots of fun with it, and it's given lots of people kind of feelings of empowerment, and they've been able to kind of go out and have the sex they want, it has also had a detrimental effect on things like face-to-face communication. So there was a big Vanity Fair article, I think it was last year, and it was saying how people are struggling to communicate face-to-face because they are more likely to kind of check on their phone to see if the person they're attracted to in the bar is on an app, rather than actually going up to them and, you know, offering to buy them a drink. And I think that's kind of, there's a famous quote, I can't really remember it now, but it was by Albert Einstein, and he said kind of, I fear the day that, you know, I think it was technology will surpass human interactions. And I do slightly feel that there's a bit of that to answer for, but I feel like the flip side of that will happen in that people will start to kind of make more effort to communicate face to face rather than by technology, as a kind of flip side of that.
In fact, nowadays, if you want to send out the face-to-face interaction, is becoming less and less common. And if you do that, that's how you stand out when it comes to the workplace or in your relationships, like not just using technology as a way to mask or hide your feelings.
Yeah, and I think the psychology of kind of rejection is quite interesting, because I can't remember who it was, someone was talking about this the other day. You'd never go up to 10 people in a bar and say, no, I'm not attracted to you, no, I'm not attracted to you, no, I'm not attracted to you, I'd like to go on a date with you, in the way that you do on, for example, apps. So you would never, because there's the distance, it facilitates that, and there is no human interaction for that first part of the process. People can be more ruthless, or there's much less responsibility, I suppose. And I think that can cause lots of people lots of upset. And that's what I mean about the kind of face-to-face interaction part of it.
Yeah, I get that. I like what you're saying. And I don't know, but I'm thinking like we also become a little bit numb in our hearts, because we just dismiss people like that and consider the impact of going to these apps on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and over time you kind of judge people literally by just how they look, and that vulnerability, that openness kind of is gone. Like, we just kind of size people up that way. It can become habitual just from using these apps all the time. I think it does something to you as well.
I completely agree with you, because I think actually it can make people quite lonely, because they don't give so many relationships a chance. And that's how people learn about what they want in relationships, or what they like sexually, or the kind of people they like, or the kind of relationship style they like, or, you know, and a lot of the time we learn by experimentation. We learn from our experiences. We learn because we're in a monogamous relationship and realized that it didn't work for us. So we're going to try a different style of relationship, or that we tried something sexually and we didn't enjoy it, so we don't want to do it again. And although fundamentally we might feel very strongly about certain things that we want to do and want to not do, a lot of the time we learn through our experiences. And I suppose my fear is that if people don't continue to, date or meet people or talk in the way that they always have done, that people will miss out on lots of experiences that could actually be really healthy for them and really fun, and all kind of part of the joy of getting it right and getting it wrong.
Yeah. I think I agree with you. We take time. We need time to get to know someone, and a relationship can start out on social media or these apps, in less than 5 minutes. Like, oh yeah, attracted. Oh yeah, you're not in my city. Oh yeah, bye. Sometimes people don't even say bye. They just unmatch you.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And so much of attraction is beyond what is just face to face. It's about, the unconscious. It's about personality qualities. It's about tone of voice. It's about looking into someone's eyes. There's so much of attraction that is beyond the instantly physically available, and especially just in a photo.
Yeah. And this is how we I don't know, maybe are sabotaging ourselves as well by just trying to speed up the process. I feel like they can actually affect us in being numb, like I mentioned, and being quite judgmental over time.
And I think it's about, also for us, if we're the person that feels like they're being, constantly rejected, what does that do for our self-esteem?
Yeah. So we're going to come very close to the end of the show. Is there anything else that you would like to add or share just before we end?
Yeah, so people can check out the app, check out Pillow Play. It's www.pillow.io, or we're on Twitter at trypillow. You've mentioned my website, but I'm also on Twitter at Kate Moyle Psych. But if people have any questions and they want to get in touch, then please do.
Yeah. So once again, Pillow Play is on Apple iStore, and this app is designed to help you cherish that special connection that you have with your partner and leave you wanting to do it all over again. and they have new episodes released every month written about sexuality, love, and intimacy, and these are by experts. And so do check out her work. So next week, okay, I need to thank Kate. So thank you, Kate, for coming on to today's show and for your time. I really appreciate your energy and your presence, and the things that you shared with me, and the reminders that you've had given to me when it comes to appreciation, and also with the use of dating apps.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me on. As I said, I love the show, and, I'm a big fan of your work, so it's great to have been invited on the show.
Thank you. I'm very sure that we'll keep in touch, and like I mentioned just now, I'm going to be in London in June to speak at a Sex and Spine conference, so I'm really looking forward to being able to meet you in person.
Yeah, me too. Can't wait.
Thank you. Okay, so next week we have the Tantric Escort, and this is EJ Love, and previous week the sound wasn't good, so I'm having her on next week. So be sure to tune in to Eros Evolution, and this is Dr. Martha Tara Lee of Eros Coaching. So in the meantime, stay happy, be curious, and have lots of great sex. Bye.